Today, we are jumping into one of the biggest showdowns in political philosophy.
Absolutely. It's Machiavelli versus Aristotle.
Yeah, and we're looking at their completely different advice for a ruler on how to get power and, maybe more importantly, how to keep it.
It's this huge philosophical divide. You have Aristotle, who sees politics as, a part of ethics.
The leader has to be a moral example.
Exactly. And then Machiavelli just separates them completely. He doesn't ask if something is good, he asks if it works.
Okay, so let's start there. With Machiavelli's hard realism in The Prince, he had a very dim view of human nature.
That's putting it mildly. He called it universal egoism.
Right, the idea that all men are ungrateful, fickle liars.
And totally governed by self-interest. So his advice flows from that. He says it is much safer to be feared than loved, if you have to pick one.
Because love is unreliable.
It's a bond that people will break the second it's inconvenient for them. But fear is different.
Fear is, what was the quote, maintained by a dread of punishment which never fails.
That's the one. And this leads to his idea of cruelty well used.
Okay, what does that mean in practice? It sounds pretty brutal.
It is, but it's strategic. He argues that any injuries you have to inflict should be done all at once.
Get it over with quickly.
Right. A single, decisive, painful action. That way the pain is brief, and then you can switch to giving out benefits, which people will appreciate more over time.
Yeah, Aristotle would look at that and say it's just a recipe for disaster.
For sure. He'd say that kind of tyranny is fundamentally unstable.
Because you're just creating enemies. You're making people motivated by revenge or ambition or just pure contempt.
Exactly. So Aristotle's solution is, well, it's almost the opposite. He says the tyrant, to survive, has to start acting more like a king.
Fake it till you make it, basically.
Kind of. Appear dignified, show that you care about public funds, act like you're working for the people, not just for yourself.
And this is where his ethics come back in, right? The idea that virtue is a habit.
Precisely. It's like learning a craft. If you constantly act in the public interest, you slowly, maybe without even realizing it, become a good ruler. The action shapes the person.
It's interesting because, modern psychology seems to back him up on this.
It does. The research suggests Machiavelli's ideal ruler, who can just switch between being vicious and being virtuous on a dime.
Yeah.
That person isn't physiologically possible. Vicious habits, like, say, pathological lying, they tend to take over. You can't just turn them off.
So if Aristotle's model seems more psychologically sound for the long haul, why is Machiavelli still the one everyone talks about?
That brings us to the big contradiction in his own work.
You mean The Prince versus his other major book, The Discourses on Livy?
That's it. Because in the Discourses, he says flat out that republics' governments by the people are far superior to princes. More stable, more prudent.
So how do you square that? Why write a handbook for a prince if you think republics are better?
Well, the theory is that both books are actually working toward the same goal, a strong, stable state. Machiavelli believed that founding a brand new state, or fixing a totally broken one, that's a job for one person. It has to be organized by one man alone.
So the prince is the instruction manual for that guy, the founder.
Exactly. The founder might have to use those illicit, cruel actions at the beginning to consolidate power and establish good laws.
To create the stable foundation for a future republic to be built on.
Yes. The prince is a necessary, if temporary, tool to get to the greater good. It all boils down to this constant battle between what he called virtue and fortuna.
Right, virtue being the ruler's skill, their foresight, their ability.
And fortuna being just sheer luck, chance. The things you can't control.
And he thought ability could control about half of what happens. But then you look at his own prime example of virtue, Cesare Borgia.
Borgia planned for everything. He was the master of pragmatism.
But he failed. And he failed because of something he couldn't possibly have planned for.
The ultimate bad luck. His own father, the Pope, died at the exact same time he himself was struck down by a near-fatal illness.
So here's the thought to leave you with. If even the perfect pragmatic ruler, the master of virtue, is ultimately brought down by pure chance, does that mean a politics divorced from ethics is doomed from the start? Is pure realism just not enough to handle reality? We'll talk to you next time.